Welcome everyone, this is Virginia Parsons, your Hangout mentor and the host of the Inspirational Businesswoman Show. And first and foremost, Happy New Year! Welcome to 2015. I have a wonderful show for you to start off the year. I know you're just going to love today's topic. So I just want to thank you for being here. Hey, we're all busy and I know your time is valuable. So the fact that you've chosen to take some time to be with us today means a lot to me. I want to thank you for that. And it's my intention with the Inspirational Businesswoman Show to provide you, the viewer, with a goldmine of entrepreneurial tips, strategies, and advice to help you grow your business from inspirational businesswomen in the show. So I just want you to know that we're happy you're here. I think it's going to be a fabulous show. You know what we're going to do today? We're going to have a love fest. That's what this is all about. We're going to really be talking about heart energy, the energetics of love. And I have no one better to do this with us today than Cynthia Gardner ONeill, who I will be introducing in just a moment. First, little order of business. Today's show is sponsored by Hangout-Marketing.com, where you can receive a free Hangout Marketing Assessment. Now, this assessment will only take you a couple of minutes to do, and it measures your skill set and your knowledge base in a way that's going to help you reach new heights of visibility, social influence, and success. Now, you might even qualify for a free strategy session with me where we'll discuss how you can use Hangouts on Air to brand and market your business. So I'd like you to take advantage of that. All you have to do is pick up your phone and text the word success, SUCCESS, to 307-269-2040. Or if you happen to be overseas, you can also go to Hangout-Marketing.com and take the assessment. So jump on there and take advantage of that. It'll only take you a couple of minutes, and it will be very revealing in how you can use Hangouts on Air to brand, grow, and market your business. All right, so let's get started because we have a wonderful show today. This show is about HeartMonics in business. First of all, I love the term HeartMonics, and Cynthia is going to share with us just what that means in a little bit. But it's all about harmonizing the heart and soul of your business. And there's no one better to share this information with us than Cynthia Gardner ONeill, who is the founder of HeartMonics and also the founder of the Center for Loving Consciousness. So here's what we're going to go over today. We got a lot to discuss, and I know not enough time as usual. We're going to find out what is HeartMonics and how does it relate to your business. You know, coming at your business from your heart center is certainly something I've always been an intention to do. That's my passion with this show. And I really want to be able to establish a collaborative of women and men entrepreneurs, my sisters and brothers, who can all help support and uplift one another. So I'd love it if you would not only put in the comment section where you're hanging out from, but also a little bit about your business. And also, you know, what is your passion with your business this year? What is your intention and your passion to move your business forward this year? As we all get to know each other better, won't it be wonderful that we can support one another this way? So go ahead and put that in the comment section. We're also going to talk about 2015, the divine timing shift. And this is going to be relating to new perspectives in your life and in your business. Finally, the third hot topic is the signature sound of your business, which is a whole new perspective in branding I'd never thought of until Cynthia brought it to my attention. So without further ado, let's get the masteress herself, the Illuminator of Love, on the screen. Welcome, Cynthia. Say hello to our audience.
Hello, everybody, and Virginia, thanks so much for having me here. And it looks like we have So many wonderful people joining us here, and I'm excited to share in what HeartMonics is. And actually, I'm a founder of the Center for Loving Consciousness, because that's what
I mistyped. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
Loving
that's
and living,
okay.
very close, very interconnected.
Well, life is love in action. So, life and living. And so, is it okay if I go ahead and share a little bit about myself and tell people why I'm here and what brought me into HeartMonics?
Please, absolutely, go right ahead.
All right. Well, I live a life of ultimate wellness right now. I'm filled with vibrant energy, and I live in the mountains of Colorado. I'm my ideal weight, and I sleep deep at night, and I enjoy energetic activities. And summertime, I am a wilderness outfitter, taking people on a wilderness adventure into their hearts to rediscover who they are. And I love dancing, skiing, playing ice hockey, and as a wilderness outfitter, I love to ride horses in the wilderness. I have been amazed throughout my life of how the human body, its agility to overcome obstacles and do whatever I ask of my body. This became my adventure to wellness as I became certified, licensed, trained, and educated as an expert in my field of energy wellness, my heart, and my education ranged from massage therapy to energy psychology to quantum physics to epigenetics and bioacoustics and energy informatic research scientist. In fact,
that is a real handful, Cynthia.
Oh my God.
How many years have you been pursuing this?
Boy, it's been, when I really got into knowing that how much I wanted to understand myself and what I was experiencing in life, because I didn't experience things the same way other people did. And so I always wanted to know, why did I have these experiences when other people don't? Or I was told that what I was doing was not acceptable, which was connecting with the divine and having experiences that we're told that we don't have. So your experiences, a lot of people won't have the same experiences you have, and we'll talk about that shortly about when we get into perspective or perception. So, with all those things that I had learned and everything, in fact, I had so much expertise that you were just, expressing there when you heard all that in the field of health and wellness, I can't even say wellness today, in health and wellness, that when I decided to go to a 4-year university to get my major in alternative medicine, I bypassed 2 years and I received a scholarship for my accomplishments. And on top of those accomplishments, I developed and designed my own holistic center in a destination resort called Breckenridge, Colorado.
Ooh,
and I lived there for 35 years. Yes. And it was a very successful business. So speaking of business, I followed my heart's desire to take care of people. That's, when I'm healing inside myself, I heal in others. When I'm learning, I teach best. And so, but from that success of that business, I was given an opportunity to develop, design, and direct a 5-star resort spa in Breckenridge, Colorado. A few years later, I resigned and decided there was still more that I was being called to do. My heart has always directed me to fulfill my life purpose. So I went back to learning more techniques and training to be an expert in the health and wellness field, especially about the heart. So I'm living a life of ultimate wellness, along with my clients who I've worked with, and their lives have improved from chronic illnesses such as lupus and MS to team performance to elite athletes, just by changing their quality of life with their hearts. And I feel so blessed to be a part of that. But you know what? It hasn't always been that way, and I haven't always felt that way. My father died.
I knew you would get to this, because I think it's so important that everyone understand that struggles in life offer incredible opportunities for rich growth and deep awareness and understanding. And so if any of you that are out there have struggled in the past or are struggling now, listen to Cynthia's story, and I think it will open your own heart to the possibilities and potential that lies within you. Go ahead, Cynthia.
All right. Well, and thank you for just really putting that out there so people can understand that they can change their lives even when we go through those difficult times. Those challenges are really what help us become more of who we are and what our heart, we recognize what our heart is really desiring. So, gosh, my father died when I was 7 years old, and shortly thereafter my mother remarried a man who sexually abused me, raped me, and physically abused me along with my sister, my brother, and my mom for almost 5 years.
Oh.
During this time I found myself creating illness in order to protect myself from this horrible experience. My illnesses didn't always keep me safe. So the sicker I made myself, the sicker I was, the safer I felt. In fact, at one time I was so sick that I was paralyzed for a short time, and no one, not even the doctors, could figure out why. But I knew. I knew. During this time, I suffered from pneumonia, bronchitis, and strep. In fact, it was the strep that was in my body and my blood that paralyzed me. Oh. Then there was this day when I was sitting on the couch in my living room, and I heard a glass shatter in the sink of the kitchen. And I looked in the doorway. I saw this man with his hands wrapped around my mother's neck, with her body pinned up against the wall, with her feet dangling down, and I couldn't take it anymore. And I walked into the kitchen, and with my fists clenched, and I told him to put my mother down, to leave us alone, or I was going to, call the police or do something. And he dropped my mother to the floor and turned to me, and he said, "Are you talking to me, little girl? Are you really talking to me?" And I said, "Yes, I want you to leave now." Well, it didn't end there. But in that moment, I realized that I did not have to be a victim anymore. And I had the ability to make a choice to either live as a victim or continue down the road of illness, or make a choice to live my life my way, not as a victim of circumstance. I realized that I could change my life. And shortly after that, I moved out of the house at the young age of 16, and I moved to the mountains of Colorado.
Oh, wow. So you chose consciously at that very young age to decide, I will no longer be victim.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to share with you why and what that had to do with my heart. It had everything to do with my heart and love. So when I moved to the mountains, I experienced such freedom and happiness and joy. And I told people, people would talk to me and say, "You shine, girl. You shine." And I have been shining ever since, getting brighter and brighter. And have you ever heard, someone say to you, "Namaste"? That means, may the light inside of me guide the light inside of you. And I guess that's why I was named Cynthia, because Cynthia means bringer of light. And so many of you might ask me, why the mountains of Colorado? Now, well, my father was a geologist, paleontologist, and from the moment of my conception to the day he died, he would camp out in the mountains every weekend. And we would explore the mines and fly fish the rivers, and still to this day, I feel the energy of his love. In fact, my heart and the love that flowed through me made it possible for me to have a relationship with my father in a whole new way. And so here I am today to share my adventures of my heart so that I might help you to overcome the obstacles in your way, to let you, to let go of being a victim and a martyr, or the illness that is created from the stress in your life. So that is why I created HeartMonics, to harmonize your life.
Oh, how beautiful. What an incredible story. I do want to just take a moment and say hi to all of our viewers. We have a wonderful comment from your dear friend of mine, Velin Hawkins. Such a profound and moving story. I can relate to being in that moment when you choose to take action that's outside your comfort zone irrespective of the consequences. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing, Lynn. We're thrilled to have you here. And, oh, we've got Shelley Palmer here, Adelaide Horleen, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Thank you so much. Saba Communications, Molly Youngblood, good to see you here. Aline Boundy and Susan Joy Schlief hanging out from Chicago. Susan, great to see you here. And so many more. Robin Holland, thank you all for being here. Cynthia's got some profound information for us all today. And so is it time maybe to move into the, oh, let me get my picture back here. Okay, is it time perhaps to move into a little more detail then on what is, what, I'm sorry, my picture just went backwards. I'm not sure what that's about. But what is HeartMonics and how does it relate to your business? Let's go with that, Cynthia. Go ahead.
Well, HeartMonics is, all about our heart's desires. What is our passion? What is our purpose? People in business, why do you, what motivates you to get up in the morning? What motivates you to create a business? What motivates you to be of service? When I've asked people that, what motivates you to get up in the morning, they say, oh, my children, oh, I got to go to work and make a living, or things like that, or I got my business and I got to go in and work in my business and all that stuff. And I'd say, okay, well, what motivates you to do those things? The core of all of it is love. It's what's in our hearts. The top #1 motivator of humanity is love. It's this. You want to be of service with your business, and that is. That is the core of our business. And our work and business is our life most of the time. We spend more time in our work and business than we do the rest of our life. So, you can't separate love from your business because it is who you are. And I used to talk about separation, from love, being separated from love. And there was a woman, Terry Taltree, and she said to me one day, she said, Cynthia, there's no, there's really no separation from love. It's really what happens is we're unaware of our connection to it.
Beautifully put. And yet when you pay attention, you can feel the expansiveness of that energy. And you can feel it expanding into your business because when you put your love and your intention into your business, it can only go out and flow to those people that are drawn to you. They're going to be drawn to you energetically because of the love and the passion that you project into the world. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yes. So you're talking about, that experience with the heart. So the heartbeat is the signature sound of you. Every frequency, every experience that you have is a frequency. And every experience you have goes into the heart. We actually feel first before we think. So every experience is a part of your heartbeat, the frequency of you. Sound creates form. And we can get more into that down the line because we're going to work with kind of the 5 levels of HeartMonics. But, know that your heart is 60 times more amplified than any part of your body, more than your brain. And everything starts in the heart and then goes to the brain. And then it's 5,000 times more electromagnetic. So what you're amplifying out, the state of your being that's in your heart is amplifying out, you're getting back 100 times plus. And that's how our heart actually communicates. The first thing that you end up communicating to your people that you're being of service of in business comes from your heart. That's what they experience first.
I would totally agree that you project from your heart energetically. That is where it's coming from and not from your brain. And if you're getting too caught up in your brain or trying to do it from a thought standpoint without feeling the connection with your heart, it's not going to be amplified to anything near the degree that you're talking about. 5,000 times more electromagnetic coming from your heart. That's amazing.
Coming back, it's electromagnetic, yeah. draws in, attracts back to you. What you're putting back, you get back 100 times plus.
Ooh.
So if you're putting out, fear out into the world, this is what you're going to get back. Everything that you fear, because what you focus on, you bring more of. What's in your... Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the 2015 divine timing shift and what that means as far as new perspectives in your life and your business.
Well, in 2010, I had an incredible experience. I had just gone through total financial devastation, foreclosure of my home, a divorce, everything, and I just pretty much surrendered. And during that time, though, I traveled more and did more than I had ever done almost in my life. Because I didn't stress over all these horrible things. I just went to my heart and said, all right, what am I being called to do? But I ended up being able to go to Europe, where I ended up, because I was called there to support in a training with the Diamond Light Grid and things like that with Julie Eplenby. And the thing is we got to lay in a crop circle. And when I was leaving here, I kept seeing 8s and 8s and 8s, and the crop circle ended up being an 8 that I laid in, and it was an incredible experience, but it was about divine timing. And what's amazing is I'm coming into 2015 is the 8, the year of 8, the numerology year of 8. That's the infinity symbol. That's infinite possibilities and potential. It's temperance. It's balance and harmony. It's loving consciousness. It also is feminine. Feminine consciousness is coming back, the sacred feminine, because also the hourglass image, okay? And it's an even number, which is a feminine energy. So we're coming into balance and harmony with the masculine and feminine energy. And that's so important for us to really live more fully. And that brings me also to, when we're living in our hearts, we live in this really nice balanced brain, whole brain balance, so that we can make wiser decisions in our businesses, in our lives, be more productive and be more creative. And a lot of creativity and things like that are coming in because of this energy balancing. One's not going to overpower the other. We're coming into balance and harmony.
Beautiful. Oh, beautiful. Did you, all you ladies, get that out there? And all you guys understand that you have a feminine energetic side as well. And it may be time to connect with that a little more deeply since we're into this timing of the 8 here in 2015. Hey, I want to bring up Shelley's point here. Your story has so deeply moved me, Cynthia, that you have brought me to service. You're not only a woman of faith, you are a woman of love. These are experiences I love to experience. She wants to know what continues to motivate you.
Well, absolutely. It is love. Love creates all life through its desire for experience. And I have such a desire to experience this life that we're in and to make a difference. I love humanity. I've gone through some really difficult times and some trauma and everything, but even during that time, I connected with my father during that time because he had passed away, and I had a whole different experience with him. My heart, because I was 7 when he passed, and I connected with him in my heart because at 7 years old, I only knew love. I didn't know what grief was and all those things, so I had experiences with my father in his love, because love goes on through our hearts. And people used to say to me, oh, she's fantasizing, and that's where I was kind of, all this doubt and everything came in, people kind of putting me down and saying, don't talk about this. Well, it's what saved my life as I went through the traumas, focusing on love, the love that's there. So if you're going through a difficult time in your business, let's say, okay, look at what you can do. So I always say, don't force what's meant to be. Okay? So start looking at what you're doing right now, and if it's really difficult, find out what you can do instead of keep forcing it into forcing and controlling what you think needs to be done. What that's saying to you, just like your body says to you when you're in pain, means to change something. Do it in a different way. So, that, and I constantly look at love, because I know we only experience 1% of what is in this world. 99% of what we never have experienced is still there for us to move into a consciousness and start experiencing it. My heart has told me over and over that the divine that comes through me constantly shares with me there's so much more for us, and we can go there through our hearts, a higher consciousness, a loving consciousness.
Well, and that's a great way to start 2015 too, is making sure that we make that connection to the divine consciousness, to the love that connects us to it, and understand or listen to that little whisper, if it hasn't been a loud whisper, that there's so much more waiting for you to experience, and you just need to open your heart to receive it. Whew, I'm feeling wonderful. I hope the audience is feeling as good as I'm feeling. I know, Cynthia, your heart is wide open. I can feel it every time I connect with you. It's a beautiful thing. It's a loving thing. Let's talk for a minute about this change of perspective. There's just a little video that we're going to show, and I'm going to bring it up now, and then you can talk about it as I bring it up, okay?
And everybody, what do you see her doing when you first see her? Okay, is she going clockwise? Is she going counterclockwise? So what's your first perception of her? And please go ahead and put that in the comment section. Is that right? Is that where they put it?
Yeah, go ahead and put in the comment section which way you see the girl turning.
Okay.
First time you look at her.
And then all of a sudden, if you see her going back and forth, let us know that too. But the main thing is, what did you first see? What did you first perceive upon seeing her? So, all right, so right now, we're all looking at the same thing, but I guarantee you, every single one of us are seeing something different. Why? Because it has a lot to do with brain dominance, okay? How we receive information, and this is really important as far as receiving. A lot of times, you know, it can be one-sided. You know, giving is actually a masculine energy. Receiving is a feminine energy. And that's been a little bit imbalanced, because even in the feminine, the mother, myself, you know, I give to my children. I gave to the father of my children, all these things. And then our business, we're constantly giving to our business. But are we creating the cycle of receiving back? You know, I came up, you know, I've been guided to that we are born with an agreement. And the agreement is to receive. All life has to give. All life has to give, and transform it into something even better. Why? Because you can.
Because you can.
Yeah, and so brain dominance has a lot to do with, so if you saw her going counterclockwise, you're more left brain, and if you saw her going clockwise, you're more right brain. If you saw her kind of going back and forth, that means you're in whole brain balance. That means you're more in your heart. When we're in our heart, we create a whole brain balance of the masculine and feminine energies. That's balance and harmony. And we're able to make wiser choices. We're able to be more productive and creative. We have more clarity and focus to what to do in our business. And we are balanced in the giving and receiving of life, and it's so important that, you know, you might be giving in a certain way with your business, but if you're not open to receiving in the way someone might give back to you, you're going to miss out on a lot in your life. You've got to open those doors. You've got to change your perception and know, as I said earlier, we only experience maybe 1% of what is. And then we have 99% of incredible wilderness adventure to take into your heart to discover you.
So we've got lots of good comments here. We've got Aline, who is saying, now she's going the other way. Oh, and back again. And Adelaide, she's saying,
the whole brain.
First clockwise, later she turned several times, and she was higher and lower above the ground. Oh my God, Adelaide, she is having a whole different perception experience, isn't she?
Yes. We're all going to have
Susan, let's go with Susan, and then I'll bring you back up here. Susan says, I can usually switch back and forth on this one, but today when I first look, I see her going counterclockwise. Now, so what does that mean as far as it changing? And usually it goes clockwise, and now it's going counterclockwise. So is there anything else that we need to read into that?
Well, let me just, so if you started out counterclockwise, you were probably in more of a intellectual place. When you're coming in to learn something new, we put ourselves more in a linear place to learn. And then, then when you start seeing going back and forth, because all of a sudden we're also talking about the heart. We're also experiencing each other's heart, even though we're not together physically. I feel all your heart out there. I do. I'm an empath, and I'm also known as a clairsentient, so, I have this experience with my heart, and that's why I went and started studying all these things, so I can find out why I have these experiences that I was told no one else had. But you know what? We all do. We've just been desensitized to feeling. That's our most important sensation, is to feel. Okay? We've been told it's all in the brain, it's all IQ, when really it's EQ. Emotional intelligence. And so know that when we're speaking about ourselves and improving ourselves and knowing more about ourselves, the self is so important, and it really brings us back to our heart, because our heart is really where our soul resides, the truth of who we are, the love that we are.
This is great fun. I hope you're all having fun with this information. Again, you're feeling a real sense of expansion today, and then that's a wonderful way to start 2015. So let's talk a little bit about the signature sound that we all have and how it relates to our business, and really how it relates to branding our business.
Okay. Well, the signature sound of you is your heartbeat, and I like to call it the self, S-E-L-F, which is your source energy love frequency. That's your enlightened inner pharmacy. So the thing is when you are in your heart, okay, and you are the harmonics, so the harmonics of the heart, which is HeartMonics, when you are in harmony in your heart, any kind of frequency that's in discordance, you actually will harmonize. And so actually, if you're in that heart space, it's a perfect place to be, because any discordant energy that's coming in gets harmonized. But if we are having some discordant in our lives, okay, and we have that in our hearts, the thing is that's when, we easily get into feeling the stress. We start focusing on what's not working, what's, a lot of things we've been taught is to look at what's bad in the world rather than what's good in the world, and to look at those things first, rather than, there's more good going on in the world than there is bad, because otherwise the signature sound that you're giving off is creating. It's creating your heart's desire. It's creating your business. When you put an intention to it and you put it out there, what's in your heart is vibrating out. And so that's how you also put out for your prospective client. What you're decided on within your heart is going out to what you want to serve, and that's in your heart. And on my at HeartMonics.org, if you go to body, I do have some information. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, it's heart. And there is a beautiful video on there from Heart Math, which I've learned a lot about Heart Math for 20 years now. My kids were brought up on Heart Math. That's where I could find all this feeling I was having inside my heart. I wanted to find science that supported what I knew, what I was experiencing, and Heart Math is one of the #1 places to go to learn a lot of science about the heart. And I provide a really great video on the intelligence of the heart, on how we affect others. How that sets the rapport with who you're doing business with. It makes it easier for you to communicate. Once you are in your heart, you can communicate better and easily, because you adjust very easily to and resonate with someone else's heart. Instead of us constantly being in our head and trying to manipulate or figure out how they're moving or what they're doing or NLP, you know, conscious language is more of where I like to go, using words that are of a high frequency. You know, the word want, for example, you know, I want more clients. Okay, wanting is not having. It's you don't have it.
It comes from a place of lack.
Yes, it comes from a place of lack. So just switching your words will switch the frequency of what's in your heart. And, you know, I get into a lot more about that with the Masaru Emoto, and, you know, when he talks about the healing powers of water and how, you know, the water structure changes.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're 80% water, 70-80% water. The heart has more water content to it than the rest of the body also, because it carries current. And so that's, you know, that's everything. How we communicate is the best way to communicate with your business and with your clients and your patients or whoever you're working with is through the heart.
So if someone is feeling discordant, and they're not in the source inner life frequency, what is changing your wording, or maybe more importantly, changing your thought forms, one of the fastest way to move back into harmonic balance inside your heart? Or do you have other quick tips that people could use?
Yeah, I have 3 powerful questions that I use when I first work with anybody, or I also have it on my site. And it is about, because really experience, feeling, we feel first before we think. And so when you bring a wonderful feeling into your heart or frequency, that's what you feel. That's a feeling, and experience is a feeling. And it's not so much the 5 senses. Okay, the 5 senses, you know, come later, and there's lots of science behind all that too. And so the first question I ask, so someone who's in pain, when I work with them, I'll say to them, what would you rather have instead? This is a big change of heart. Okay, what would you rather have instead? And usually they say to me, no pain. And I go, well, you're still focused on pain.
Right.
So what's the opposite of pain? And so they'll, you know, come up with a word, and one woman came up with the word serenity, and I said, great. Now the second question is that healthy for you? Is serenity healthy for you? And usually, you know, they'll say yes, that's healthy. But right there, when they said, I'd rather have serenity, just say that to yourself, everybody. Go, I would rather have serenity in my life, in every moment. That's taking you in a direction that you'd rather go. And it's moving you forward out of pain. So, because you're not thinking of the pain, you're thinking of, I'd rather feel serenity. And it's not a lie. That's the other thing. When I used to teach positive thinking, people go, oh, come on, I'm in pain. I'm friggin' in pain. Why? You know, I'm not going to lie to myself. Get me out of this pain. That's not helping me, right? Yeah. So I came up with what you'd rather have instead, and then focus on what is healthy for you. What can you do for yourself, okay? But the third question, this is the biggest one of all. Biggest one of all is, what's the adverse consequence to you having serenity? And usually everybody says, nothing. There's no adverse consequence to having serenity. And I ask you, then why don't you have it?
So the question really is, then why don't you have it?
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that you really, it's like a pattern interrupt. You're
yes.
getting into, whoa, what do you mean, why don't I have it? Yeah, okay, go ahead.
So for example, an adverse consequence. So me, growing up the way I did in the abuse, the adverse consequence to me being healthy and walking at that time was I would be abused. I would be raped. I'd be sexually abused. So when I was ill, when I was paralyzed, guess what? I was much healthier when I was in that state of being than if I was a healthy person to be abused. So the adverse consequence me being healthy when I was a kid was not healthy for me. But today, is me being ill healthy for me? No, it's not today. Okay? So we really got to look at this, because really there are so many things that we will go and do, because in the moment of what we're experiencing, it's healthier for us to do that for ourselves in that moment. And don't give yourself a hard time when you've done something that you go, God, I can't believe I did that to myself, but you actually did it for a reason.
You were attempting to provide something for yourself, definitely.
Yes. It's the criticism. When you start criticizing yourself, that's what hurts you. That's what hurts you. So stop it. And ask yourself what would you rather have instead, and then find out if why you're doing it, and make sure you know that it's, you know, it might be healthy for you. Figure that out. So know what's the adverse consequence to you having your heart's desire. Well, maybe you do have what you need in this moment, okay? And what's the, there was a word that came to me, instead of using the word need. I was on talking with someone before. Necessity. Is it a necessity? You know, I think necessity is almost an upgrade, and we go from want to need to, is it a necessity? Because a necessity is so much more than just need and want.
Yeah. It's a survival.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and the necessity, it's necessary to, I like to rather switch from survival to thrive. Thrival.
Thrival. It's a thrival.
Yeah.
Well, of course, because it drives your behavior and it drives the energy of the moment.
Yes.
Which survival, thrival could be one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this has been a great conversation, Cynthia. I want to point out another comment here from Molly. I have a little smiley face doll that says, "Smile that you can hear, that can hear it in your voice." Oh, smile, they can hear it in your voice to remind me about my frequency. I love that.
Yes.
That's beautiful, Molly. Great comment.
Yeah, and with her saying that, you know, it reminds me, one of the big things I give to people to shift them, to make a pattern interrupt, is to use sticky notes. I love sticky notes because, you know, my clients, when they came in and they were in pain and everything, I love giving self-care. But the problem with self-care is most people, there's nothing around them to remind them to take care of themselves. They're so busy taking care of everyone else, right? Especially in your business, you're always taking care of, you want to take care of your clients and be of service and all those kind of things. So, but self-care is so important. Our autonomic nervous system, you know, we breathe, our heart pumps, all those things. But in order, you know, your breath is one of the most important things for your heart. And it's what connects all things. So, and I say, put the word breathe on a sticky note and stick those sticky notes with the word breathe everywhere around where you spend the most time. It's a pattern interrupt. You'll start taking these nice deep breaths, which I'm going to teach you just as we're finishing up right now. And you're going to take a nice deep breath into your heart and love yourself more today than you did yesterday. That also will shift you into your heart, and it will put you in whole brain balance so that you can make wiser decisions. It brings the blood and oxygen to the brain, because when we're in stress or we're depleted in oxygen, you can't think straight. There's more chaos going on. You're in stress. And that does not serve you today. So use those sticky notes to put, you know, that pattern interrupt or whatever. Like, you can ask yourself what I'd rather have instead and put that on a sticky note. Whatever works for you.
You know, I think the big key that I need to re-emphasize with this is love yourself more today than you did yesterday. And when you were talking in the beginning about the divine timing of 2015 and the number 8 and the feminine energy, it is all around increasing love and sending out an even higher frequency of love to everyone. I mean, as long as you're in love with yourself, how much more do other people benefit by being around you? So if we all just paused and reminded ourselves to love ourselves more today than we did yesterday, oh my gosh, the world, can you feel the loving pulse of the whole globe? just picking up this one simple tip. Hey, you guys, if you take nothing else home with you today, that's a pack your bag moment.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Cynthia, would you talk a little bit about you're offering a HeartMonics strategy session? I have posted it for people, the link. Would you like to talk to about that? And then we're going to move on into the after show.
Yeah, I certainly would. I'm inviting you and encouraging you to please go to the link that's HeartMonics.org/IBWS. Your inspirational, oops, I'm sorry, IW. Did I do that right?
Inspirational Business, IBWS, yes.
Oh, good.
You got it right.
Business Women's Show, good. I was getting a little, left and right brain going. No, I'm just kidding. No, actually, when I go into my left brain and I try to get really, linear, when I've been in my heart, I don't work very well there. I work much better in my heart.
So they've got the link, so it's okay, and you did it right.
So you can go there.
I'll tell you, there's no way I can do this show without being both in and out, yes. Left and right brain. Too many things going on.
Right. Well, so you can go there. I'm offering you guys a 30-minute HeartMonics wellness strategy session with me, so you can at least get some knowledge about yourself, because the 5 levels of HeartMonics is awareness, knowledge, understanding, then acceptance, and then love. So that's self-awareness, self-knowledge, self-understanding, self-acceptance, and self-love. The source energy love frequency that's in you.
Wonderful. Oh, I just want to thank you so much for being here with us today. I think that what you're sharing has been brilliant, and I hope everyone takes it home and just wraps their heart around it and then extends that wonderful frequency out to the world, because there are so many lives to be touched, uplifted, and inspired. Remember, that's what this show is all about. I have posted twice the link to come on into the after show. Love to have you come in and talk more about this to Cynthia and share some of your experiences. We'll be here for approximately 30 more minutes in the after show, so please take advantage of that link and come on in. I want to thank you, Cynthia, so much for being here today and sending a 2015 loving, love life, love yourself, love your business, and get your message out to the world. Cynthia, would you like to have one last goodbye?
Well, I will. I'm going to say embrace your brilliance, because you brought up brilliance. You all have that brilliance. And brilliance is wisdom plus light. So embrace your brilliance. And you guys, you will do wonderful in the world. And I know you're here to bring your heartbeat, your signature sound of you, because we need you. We need your contribution to make a difference in this world. That's why you're here.
Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone, for coming. I know we ran a little long today, but you know what? When there's so much important information to get out there, I hope you understand and take something, just one little thing from today's show, and use it in your life, in your business, and in your passion. And we'll see you next week on the Inspirational Businesswoman Show. Thank you so much. This is Virginia Parsons along with Cynthia Gardner ONeill. Bye-bye now.